What's up, everybody? Jaxxsin here. Today I want to talk about something that came out of E3 that I actually gave a shit about. Because for the most part, I just really didn't care. They're showing games they've shown for the past 3 years. I can't be fucked. I've got, they gave me Payday 2 for free on the PC just the other day, and I got all sorts of games to play. I've got more games to play than games I'm concerned about that may be coming out and may be good. Like, there's good games out that I've got, access to that I've been playing, and so didn't really give a shit about too much going on in E3. But one thing I heard, it felt like there's this moment of just like, I felt so happy and pleased with the gaming community as a whole, and this is when Battlefront 2 revealed, the EA revealed that there would be no season pass. That there wasn't going to be a season pass. They weren't going to sell any content. It was going to be free content in seasons, and they're going to release heroes, maps, modes, all sorts of shit for free. Now, obviously, there's an optimistic edge to this, and that is, or a pessimistic edge to this, which is a fair point, is that, knowing this, you understand that there are going to be microtransactions day one. There's going to be some sort of loot box. There's going to be some sort of shit that they can hook people with to make up for the money with the season pass. But this is a telling move to me because it shows me two things. It shows me that the gaming community, when we said with Battlefront 1, when everyone stood up and said, no, enough's enough. We don't want to fucking pay $60 for a game. That's the base version. Plus, $50 for a season pass. Like, people put their foot down, and a lot of people didn't buy the game. A lot of people that did buy the game ended up not playing it for that long. I know that because after about, I think, 9 months, I saw it on sale for $30. So that's telling you that they needed people to populate the server. That's the only reason a game that has a $60 asking price and a $50 season pass would cut itself down to $30, is because that company isn't making the money they thought they would be making off of that game. Now, when I heard about this, I immediately, of course, started thinking, oh, well, what kind of microtransactions are we going to see? What kind of hooks are we going to see with, baited with what sort of loot and stupid cosmetic bullshit to hook these wells, that they, justify giving away free content. And when I started to think about that, I started to think, well, I really don't care. I don't care because I feel like if those are there and there's no season pass, and all future updated content, all that shit's gonna be free, then I feel like it's the promise that so many companies have made and taken their word on. And that is that we'll, because these people are buying stupid shit, the rest of us, who don't buy the stupid shit, we're gonna get free content, right? So it's like a win-win for all gamers. It's a win-win for those. It's a win for those wells that just want to buy dumb shit in video games for whatever reason that I'll never comprehend. I think it's rooted in some sort of obsession with gambling, in my opinion. I think part of it is the random chance, because those are oftentimes the loot boxes or the microtransactions that make the most money, or most oftentimes like the random chance loot boxes and items like that. Which I found, it's so funny. A little update real quick as a side trail real fast. Overwatch, so you know how they had to give out the drop rates for China? Well, they figured out a way now where they can still sell the loot boxes with the drop rates that didn't meet what the law said by just selling credits. So they're selling the credits, and as a bonus, you get X amount of loot boxes with the purchase. So that's what you're really buying. And, it's a tricky little thing with fucking, oh God, them Activision fuckers. They know what they're doing. Anyway, trailing back into it, it's the promise. So it's a win for those people that want to buy that, want to waste money on those things, wants to, get whatever thrill they get out of those. And it's a win for us that just, want, a secure purchase. I don't want to buy something, because this is just a sad fact, and I've talked about it before, but when you buy a game with a big season pass that you just don't want to buy, you're not going to be able to afford to, you're not going to be able to justify that sort of price on one game. You know what I mean? Unless it's a case like The Witcher 3 where it's reasonably priced and exceptionally large. But for the most part, season pass content, it's not fucking worth it, man. It's just, you know what I mean? And you could argue with me if you're a hardcore Battlefront person that, yeah, it was worth it to you. But I think the majority of people would say that this $50 price tag for what the offering was inside a game that already had like dances and things like that. And I don't know. To me personally, I find that this is something that can happen. All right, this is something that can happen. We see it all the time. We see games that come out that don't have a season pass, that offer free content, and guess what? Those games are financially successful. All right, we see them deliver on this promise. All right, and for them to do it, for EA to do it with Star Wars. Okay, this property, they don't need to do shit with this property but throw the fucking name on it and make it look like it, alright? Star Wars will sell. Star Wars is the poppiest, the pop culture for many, many fucking years now. Since before I was born, it's been pop culture, alright? So that's going to sell. Now, for them to be able to say that we're not going to have a season pass for this game that we could sell and we could make money on, because regardless of what, you know, the thing is they made the money, all right? I think they just realized they could have made more if they were fucking fair with the gamer. And there's this rant by Joe, I'm gonna have it below, but it was about the fucking Battlefront season pass and the bullshit pre-order bonuses and all of that. It's brilliant. But I think that surmised what a lot of us feel, that it's not at the core of what our issue is with it. It's not the price. It's really not so much the price as it is the quality being offered, because we see games being sold for $40, $30 day one that are packed full of content, that have all sorts of great shit going on in them, right? We see that this is possible. We know that this sort of thing is possible. And so when you offer us, like, I don't know, a one serving dinner for, you know, an 8-course meal price, and someone else is giving us an 8-course meal that tastes better than yours for cheaper, you know what I mean? And I think that that's the shining light in this year's E3. I really do. I think that would be my happiest moment that I felt during all of this shit, because I really haven't even been paying attention to most of it. I just read highlights online. I'll watch trailers for things I give a shit about. You know, if it looks interesting, it looks interesting. But I'm done giving into this industry and its hype machine. And I think E3 is at the core of that. It's a huge, you know, they're just getting the pre-orders out the ass off of this shit. All right. And when I started to think about that, of course, I began to think about Destiny, because Destiny and Bungie made a promise to everyone who owned it, anyone who bought it, when they waited to put microtransactions until later on. And when they did, they explained that it would help fund new free content. Okay. During the course of watching that, we all know that it wasn't new free content. It was content that was already planned that also delivered more microtransactions and emotes and skins and sparrows and skins for sparrows and rule books and all sorts of bullshit, right? These free events ended up being just another delivery system for the microtransactions that were said to be there to fund them. Okay? Now, this is why Destiny will always just come into my mind when I'm thinking about microtransactions. It'll come into my mind when I'm thinking about season passes. It'll come into my mind because it's the ultimate fuck you to the gamer. And it's in my opinion, the opposition to good and fair business practices towards us, the consumer. The reason I say that is because it is a game that evolved to force day one buyers to repurchase content that they already owned. Okay? It's a game that evolved to put microtransactions in it and lied to the community about their purpose, and the community accepted it for the most part. And you know, this is an odd thing, but you know what makes me also feel very hopeful is when I do a video on Destiny and I talk about this sort of shit, and I get the people who are now at this point defending it, and they're all crazy fanboy zealots who immediately open with an insult, and they straw man some sort of argument saying, you know, everyone does this, everyone fucking blah, here's 10 fucking other games that did this, so it's okay that Bungie and Destiny do it, right? And their nonsensical bullshit arguments about fucking Bungie being raped in a basement by Activision forcibly, right? These lunatics are the only ones now defending Destiny and Bungie. And there's a reason for that. Because moderate people, common sense thinkers, normal fucking gamers, okay, not these extreme pockets full of lunatic assholes. I'm talking about regular everyday gamers. We all saw the course that game was taking, and we saw that it was not only unfair to us as gamers, but unfair to us as consumers. It is unfair for you to ask me to repurchase something I've already purchased. Okay? And not only just for a little bit of money, for a lot of coin. Like $90 for the day one purchase in a season pass, that's not a small price. Alright? Now maybe Battlefront, they just overtipped their hand the first time around. You know, DICE and EA, they overtipped their hand. They charged that $60 for the season pass. You know what I mean? They just went too far. Either way, the reaction from the community changed the course of that franchise for the better. And this is why all these people that are talking shit on all of us who are not buying Destiny 2, I just didn't even mean to turn this into this, but fuck it, you know what? All these people talking shit on us, they're dumb. Because in my opinion, the best thing that a fan could do for Destiny, that franchise, and Bungie, and Activision, those companies, the best thing we could do is not buy that game. Is to stay as far away from that fucking thing as humanly possible. Is to let Destiny 2 feel what Battlefront felt. Because then we're really going to get meaningful content for free. We're going to still have the microtransactions, but fuck it, they'll actually be there doing the purpose that Bungie has currently, up to this point, lied about. Anyway, that's my trail about E3 and what I heard and what I think. It's dark days, but at the same time, it's not really. It's not really. Alright, these things, these microtransactions, as much as I hate them, if they can do it like this, if they can work it out like this, am I still going to say they're dumb? Am I still going to mock them and anyone who feels the need to purchase them in exorbitant extremes? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to. I'm not going to be able to change that much about myself. But I will accept them, and I will purchase games with them in day one if it's a fucking circumstance like this, where I understand that they are there to serve the purpose of delivering me free content. And we're seeing For Honor players drop off the map now too. Okay? These are good days. These are good days to be a gamer. The industry is starting to hear us. That's all we gotta do, man, is make them hear us with our wallets. If it hits the bottom line, they'll do whatever we want them to do. Alright? This is like going... They are here to serve us, not the other way around. Right? Like, we're not here to buy their game and then buy a season pass and then buy that content again after a couple of years because they fucking decide that they can do that. Right? Make it cheaper for anyone who hasn't been there and make it more expensive for anyone who's been there. Right? I mean, I've read reviews on Luke Smith. I've read so much shit. And this game, the biggest fucking marketing thing about it is if you haven't tried Destiny, you should play Destiny. This is a good experience for the new player and the old player alike, but that's bullshit. And anyone who grinded over fucking 100 hours for a fucking legendary or an exotic or something that you really wanted knows that that's fucking bullshit. This isn't for the players that were there. This isn't for the players that have been around from the beginning. Destiny 2 is for the new player, just like the Taken King was for the new buyer, just like the Rise of Iron was for the new buyer. Alright? None of these expansions has been for the day one player. Not a single fucking thing they have done has been for the day one player. Anyway, there you go. I'll end this video 8 times because I'm just that good at rambling. Thanks for hanging out, guys, with me on my trail. And until next time, keep kicking ass, stay safe, stay awesome. And always remember that if you're here, you're watching this shit, you believing in me, you're following me on Twitter, you're giving a shit about what I'm doing, I fucking love you. I love you, man. Because you're that small part of my life that is positive fucking energy, man. So thanks for being positive fucking energy. I'll end this like a hippie from the fucking 70s. Alright. Talk to y'all later.